quite a legacy here to live up to. And I think I'm especially honored to be part of a John Nolan place, along with lots of other thought and vision and planning that's made the city such a wonderful place to live. And so it was really thinking, I think probably his kind of ghost kind of advising us in terms of what we should do for this project. And I think what we ultimately realized, because of a lot of factors, that we couldn't just kind of leapfrog from Riverside Park over here without thinking about the context of what's around it and kind of weaving it all together. And so ultimately, we're calling this a string of pearls as an idea of connecting these beautiful civic spaces, and those lead you and take you from your heart, your center in your heart, into this new planned neighborhood. So this is really what we're kind of identifying here with these pearls, these droplets, and how they have come through and led us up to this edge here, and then up above along this agricultural green belt, which is now a utility corridor, and then back through the marsh and back down. So there's this whole system that's interconnected, an ecological green system that is kind of tying it all together. And part of that has, it was influenced by the elephant in the room, which is the festival grounds and the amphitheater program, and the idea that this might be the best place for this. But we then started looking at what was existing and whether we could move along with it. So see what I do with the clicker here. Put in my pocket.
Anybody have an extra clicker?
He likes this slide. It's going to be on the screen.
Okay. What did I do? Just sit down. Is there another way to advance them? This is it. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so we'll move along. I think that's really a good starting point, and I just have like a couple more slides. So, but as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here that over the years has kind of morphed. And the way that I explain this is that the development era that much of this was done in, this office building, this residential building, this hotel, kind of the layout of the paved areas here and so forth, was really a suburban area. It was kind of like bringing the suburbs into the city, which is a really great development model. It was very viable, very marketable. And you come in almost like an off-ramp. You come in, you kind of land here. And I think that what we're doing is we're transitioning now into the 21st century. We're reaching back to the walkable communities, the walkable urbanism, and it really makes sense to really think about this. And when you start thinking that way in a city building, city making, then you start thinking in terms of a different scale and a different pattern, and then things very quickly fell into place. And so this was a study that we did. Sorry, I keep moving. Too many things land. This is a series of studies that we're doing now. But the main kind of constant is this idea of taking this 5,000 seat amphitheater program, kind of an outdoor amphitheater program, a place that people like Willie Nelson could come perform, and using the different pieces of kind of the way I describe it is mopping up all these parking lots and kind of residual berms and buffers and open space that are there that's not being used, and actually creating incredible civic space, and just extending it up from Riverside Park, and this whole series of just these pearls that would continue on. And so we're still studying it, and we'll continue to study it, because obviously we have to have conversations with the key people that own the property or are interested in the property, has a vested interest. In fact, we had a meeting earlier today with the family, and the festival ground family, and in fact we generated a third concept out of that meeting, and so it will keep evolving. So just be sure. But the idea that this may go there really became a driving force. And so as you see, here's the master plan. This beautiful finger of green, how it continues on up here, and then so forth. And just before, this is the last image I'll talk about. part of it, having coffee in the morning, it's getting out and informally talking to people. It's so important. You hear so many things. And it so happened that this really interesting landscape company person came in and started talking about his real passion of urban agriculture and planting edible gardens and actually connecting that to the farm-to-table restaurants and creating this whole locavore system. And then, so we met with him today, and actually this, he's really excited about this idea of how this will tie into basically our village center and how that, is kind of this local food movement. And so some really interesting things are percolating up right now. So we'll go from there. I think, Bob, are you up? You're going to talk about the plan now? Okay, and you can take this pointer so I don't keep messing up.